And now it's back to Business in Motion with Thabiso Zwane, brought to you by AllNew Media Solutions.
All right, and we're back. This is Business in Motion with myself, Thabiso Zwane. Welcome to the Val's premier business show. This show is probably brought to you by AllNew Media Solutions and Lekoa FM 91.0. As we promised you, we are going to be having a conversation with the National Credit Regulator. This is to assist with you as an entrepreneur to formalize your cash loan business. We've had a lot of questions of people wanting to know, how do you formalize your cash loan business? Now, we've got the National Credit Regulator on the line. We're speaking to Mr. Jimmy Golele, who is the Senior Education and Communications Officer at the NCR. Mr. Jimmy, good morning, sir.
Good morning, and good morning to the listeners of Lekoa FM. My name is Jimmy Golele from the National Credit Regulator, and I'm happy to be in your company.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golele. I do beg your pardon, sir. Thank you very much for giving us your time today, Mr. Jimmy Golele. Let us start here. We are talking with you, the National Credit Regulator. Who is and what is the National Credit Regulator, and what is it for? Why does it exist?
Start with the why it exists. It exists to regulate the credit industry. Who or what is the National Credit Regulator? The National Credit Regulator is an entity that has been established in terms of the National Credit Act to regulate the credit industry in South Africa. It is one of the agencies that reports to the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition. We have a mandate of regulating the credit industry. In regulating the credit industry, we are expected to do a few things, including, amongst others, registering credit providers, credit bureaus, debt counselors, payment distribution agents, and alternative alternative resolution agents. So those are the registrars that we have to deal with. But in addition to that, we are also mandated in terms of the National Credit Act to protect consumers. We protect by having a unit that looks into the compliance with the provisions of the National Credit Act. And then consumers are also protected in that they can lodge complaints with the National Credit Regulator should they be receiving the short end of the stick from any of our registrants.
Sure.
So a consumer can lodge a complaint with the National Credit Regulator. We try and resolve that complaint at no cost to the consumer. And then additionally, we are also seized with the task of conducting consumer education so that we can raise awareness amongst consumers about the existence of the National Credit Act and the National Credit Regulator.
Wow. Okay. So now we're going to be touching base on this issue of the mashonisas. It's got different names. Some people call it Bokola, some people call it Ukshonisa loan sharks, and all of that. Now, we do have a lot of people that are operating in our communities as loan sharks, and they actually, some of them want to get formalized. And but important, if I have a cash loan business, why should I register with the National Credit Regulator? What is the importance behind that?
You're asking a very important question. It's critical that if you are a credit provider or if you are operating in the lending space, if you are a mashonista, you are a lakasha or whatever it's called, it's critical that you register. Once you register, then your business is formal, your practice, or whatever you're doing can be protected in terms of the law. If you are not registered, a person can, a smart person can actually come and take 10,000 from you and run to the National Credit Regulator to report you that you have given them 10,000, but they suspect that you are not registered. And then that will definitely come with consequences for you. And once you are registered, if your clients do not pay you, you do not have to resort to unsavory money, such as chasing them with guns or going after them with shambox or going to take microwave ovens and fridges from their homes.
Sure.
You can simply take the matter to court. However, if you are not registered, you cannot take such a matter to court because in the first place you are doing illegal business.
Sure.
So the importance of registering is to legitimize and make your business lawful and to get also protection from the existing court system and judicial system that we have.
So there is that additional benefit of you having some form of legal recourse should it happen that something goes, otherwise in terms of you dealing with your customers. If you do have your business registered with the NCR, you have the power to have some form of legal recourse as opposed to when your business is not registered with the NCR.
Definitely, that's the most important, that you have you are legally protected. And as I indicated, if your customer doesn't pay you, you can take the matter to court. The court can get you a garnishee order whereby from the seller directly to you, unlike you breaking the law, because you can actually end up in jail while you are the one who is owed. You can go and beat up a person, and they can open a case against you for beating them up. Whereas if you are registered, you would simply have taken the matter to court. The court will issue a garnishee order. Then the employer of that person will give you your money back.
Wow, excellent. Fine. So let us quickly touch base on the registration process. And here I am a Mashonisa. I've heard all this information on Lekoa FM. Now I want to know what is the registration process like if I want to formalize a business with you at the NCR?
The registration process, you'll have to decide whether you are registering in your own name or you are registering in using a company name. If you're using a company name, you'll have to follow the CIPC process, register your business. Secondly, you need to get a police clearance. We obviously know the majority of these microlenders, unregistered microlenders, are known for their violence. So we are not registering a person who already has issues in terms of how they conduct themselves. So you need a police clearance. And then you also need to have an accountant, because that information will be required in the forms that you will complete. So when you have all these things then lined up, then you contact the National Credit Regulator. We can either email you the application forms, or you can go to our website. You can download the forms, complete the forms, return them to the National Credit Regulator, having paid the applicable fees, the application fees. I will not be able to say how much is the application fee, because we have 9 categories. And each of those categories have their own fee. So in the forms it indicates which category and which fee is payable for that particular category. Then once the form has been returned to the National Credit Regulator, we assess them, and we take 60 business days to conclude the assessment of your forms, and then we can return them to you. Quite critical to ensure that the forms are correctly filled. And when you are in the process of filling the forms and you do not understand some parts of the form, you are at liberty to contact the National Credit Regulator, and we can assist you with whatever. I know a number of people tend to rely on consultants, and they find that the consultant fees are actually high, and that discourages them from registering. The forms can be filled by the applicant themselves. Any person can fill those forms. So
I just want to touch base. I know I did have a look at the pricing, and I did see that there is different pricing that is, for different categories. But overall, what I can say, and this is just my opinion, considering the type of industry that we're in, it's quite inexpensive to get your business registered with the National Credit Regulator. With the prices that I've seen, that you have to register, you have to pay a non-refundable fee, etc. But overall, with what I've seen, and I would encourage people to go to the NCR website to get the cost there, because it's quite inexpensive, if I can say so myself.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's expensive. I think
I'm saying it's inexpensive. It's cheap. It's affordable. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think it's affordable compared to application for registrations of other businesses that I have seen. I think the application fee for one to be a credit provider is quite affordable, in my opinion. Anyway, that's subjective.
No, absolutely. Even mine, it's subjective as well. Fine. So this person has now gone through the registration process of getting registering with the NCR. We've spoken about the basic requirements. You are going to be required to submit a police clearance certificate which confirms that you have no criminal records. I would imagine your ID is going to be required there, and then if you have a company registered with the CIPC, that will be attached there along with the certificate, and it's going to be sent over to the NCR. And you said the turnaround time is about 60 days?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Perfect. If it takes time and it happens that a user does not get any feedback, what can they do?
The applicant can always follow up with the National Credit Regulator upon receiving your application form. We confirm receipt of the application form and we send you a reference number. So using the reference number, the applicant can contact the National Credit Regulator via either telephone or they can send an email to the to the registrations department and inquire as to what is happening in terms of the application.
Fine.
At no cost.
Okay,
yes.
No problem. So one question that we get a lot from a lot of people, when people are saying in our lokishis and whatnot, they've got their own interest rates when it comes to, cash loans. Now, one question that they tend to ask a lot is that once I've registered with the National Credit Regulator, how much can I then charge people in terms of interest? Can I still charge whatever I was charging? And I would imagine, of course, the National Credit these stipulations as to how much could credit lenders, afford. But people sometimes tend to feel discouraged when to apply because they often wonder what kind of laws or codes must I follow once I'm a registered lender? More specifically in terms of interest, like how much can I charge? What's the highest interest that I can charge?
The interest that you can charge will depend on the kind of loan that you are giving out.
Sure.
Different types of loans have different rates that can be charged. For example, if you are giving what we call a short-term loan.
Yes.
A short-term loan is a loan that is not exceeding 8,000 and is payable within 6 months.
Yeah.
For a short-term loan, the highest interest that you can charge is 5%. If the person asks for a loan again in the same calendar year, then that should be 3%. However, what potential applicants should understand is when you give a loan out, you don't only interest, you charge a service fee, you charge initiation fee, and then when you add up all those fees, they actually take your the money that you make out of that transaction a little higher. So unfortunately, people only focus on the interest.
Yeah.
And how other registered credit providers are making money is through charging other additional costs of credit. As I've indicated, a service fee, there is initiation fee, then there is so it will be interest, initiation fee, and service fee. So when you couple all those, then they give you good money.
Yeah.
And then additionally, like I indicated, depending on the type of loan that you are giving out, you can charge different interest rates. If one takes a personal loan, the interest rate is 28.75% per annum. And then on top of that, then you add the service fee, you add the initiation fee.
Oh, okay. So this essentially would mean that, if I do decide to get my business accredited with the National Credit Regulator, I would sort of have to fund with the National Credit Act so that I know how much can I charge people, etc., and all of that.
Definitely, it's mandatory that once you are a registered credit provider, you need to be familiar with the National Credit Act so that you know what you are allowed to do and what you are not allowed to do.
Yes.
For example, once you are registered, you are not allowed to take people's IDs, take people's bank cards, take people's SASA cards as a means of ensuring that they will pay your money back.
Yeah.
It is not allowed, and you cannot overcharge them. This 40%, 50%. That we hear is being charged focusing. It is not allowed in terms of the National Credit Act. So you will have to restructure how you charge people and then add all these additional things, but then charge them in line with the provisions of the National Credit Act.
And I would imagine the benefits outweigh the fact that you're going to be paying less, you're going to be charging less interest. I mean, the peace of mind, the fact that you've got legal recourse, the fact that your company is now registered is trade-off to just for you to charge a lesser interest knowing that your business is registered as opposed to you running it as an illegal business.
You definitely, the benefits outweighs the loss.
Yeah.
And then also, you also sleep peacefully knowing that whoever owes you, you have a legal way of getting your money back. And also knowing that people will not throw you under the bus. Because like I indicated earlier on, a slimy character can just come and borrow money from you. And after borrowing the money from you, run and report you.
Yeah.
And then that will definitely have dire consequences, because whether they report you at the SAPS or at the National Credit Regulator will definitely say you had no business giving them money because you are not a registered credit provider.
Okay, so because we're busy talking about compliance and protection, so essentially this registration ultimately at the end to a degree, also protects the consumer themselves, because they are dealing with a legal business. Because, I mean, sometimes we tend to go to the illegals. We think it's just easier to get money from them and all of that stuff. But ultimately, if that particular business is not registered, you also do run at a risk, because the terms of recourse that they take is not within, the constraints of the law. So you registering also will protect the consumer, themselves.
Definitely. When you register, if you are a credit provider and you register, the actual act of you registering comes with a benefit to the consumer, in that they will no longer have to suffer the abuses.
Okay.
The credit provider.
Yeah.
For example, you wouldn't overcharge them. You wouldn't take documents that are not allowed from them. You would conduct an assessment before you give them a loan.
Yeah.
However, if you go to a random guy on the corner, you say, I want 10,000, he takes 10,000 and gives you. He doesn't want to know whether you have an income, what amount, what is your income, what are your expenses, will you afford to repay them? So a registered credit provider will know that by law, before I give you asking for, I need to check if you have the financial ability to be able to repay this. If not, then I cannot give you the money. So that way, they are protecting you from making a loan that you cannot afford and end up being beaten up or being chased in the streets.
All right. Look, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're still having our conversation with Mr. Jimmy Golele. Just hang on for me, Mr. Jimmy, just for one more minute. I'm going to read your WhatsApp messages on the air, and he's going to respond to them. I'm going to take a short break, and we will be white black.
Legend with Thabiso Zwane, brought to you by AllNew Media Solutions.
Just 20 minutes before we hit midday, right here, Lekoa FM 91.0. Good morning, Thobela Bshini, Aheme Njani Mifukile. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your business going? My name is Thabiso Zwane, and this is Business in Motion. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the Val's premier business show. Thank you very, very much. Merci beaucoup. How are you feeling? We're celebrating our birthday. I'm having a conversation with Mr. Jimmy Golele from the National Credit Regulator, who's the Senior Education Officer. We're wrapping up our conversation with formalizing your cash loan business. Mr. Jimmy, thank you very much for your patience, and thank you very much for staying with us. I appreciate it. Appreciate Garo. I am just going to read just a couple of messages that we got during our conversation, if it's fine with you, sir.
No, that's all good. We can do it.
First question. Somebody asked, what happens when a person does not have an accountant and they want to register with the NCR? Will the National Credit Regulator approve their registration?
No, unfortunately, it's a requirement. You will need to identify an accountant because that information will be required in your forms, and there is a reason why that information will be required.
Yes,
there are some documents and some forms which you will have to submit on an annual basis or on a quarterly basis. These documents must be compiled by an accountant, by a registered accountant. So it is for that reason that you will need to have one. It will be a question that you must respond to in the forms, and without that information, unfortunately, your application might not be approved. So
the accountant is needed. It's important.
Yes, it's a standard requirement. There has to be one.
Okay, fine. Another person sent a message, and this, of course, has got to do with something that's got to do with compliance. They said they registered. They actually went to borrow money from Mashonisa. She wasn't registered, and she takes me to his lawyer. I pay her money, and she takes people's IDs, and says it is 50%. I would imagine this touches back on what we discussed, the issue of compliance and protection. So this client has gone to Mashonisa, and actually she says that Mashonisa took their SASSA card. So what kind of recourse does this particular client have?
That consumer whose SASSA card has been taken by a Mashonisa has two options. They can go and report that matter to the SAPS, nearest SAPS, or they can lodge a complaint with the National Credit Regulator. They can send a complaint by sending an email to complaints@ncr.org.za, and then we'll play the assistance. It's not allowed. They can't keep IDs, bank cards, or SASSA cards.
Yeah, and just lastly, the consequences of non-compliance. If you are a Mashonisa and you are unregistered, the consequences in terms of the law, what can happen to you?
The consequence of non-compliance, one is because when we conduct investigations, we go with the SAPS or with the OX, people get arrested.
Yeah.
People end up with criminal records. you may also lose your money. Because once you get arrested, there may be a finding that says you need to cancel all the credit agreements that you had with your client.
Wow.
Because they were unlawful. So you risk losing your money, you risk jail time, you risk a criminal record.
And in terms of last two questions, does formalizing your cash flow business, does it open any opportunities for you in terms of growth for your business or other funding opportunities or support opportunities? Does it do that if you register your business with the NCR?
I would think it opens opportunities for you in that, one, you indicated earlier on that you have the peace of mind that you are doing a business that is legit. Two, even if you get into large transactions with people, you know, you do that knowing that you have the company. Thirdly, even when you need funding, you can then be able to approach other bigger lenders than you and apply for funding, and it will show that you are applying for funding for a registered business.
Wow.
So even that business that you are borrowing capital from will have the comfort to know that they are dealing with a registered business who is likely to repay them for the loan that they are asking for.
Wow, thank you very much. And lastly, what message does the NCR have for like all aspiring lenders, I mean, who are scared and uncertain about approaching the NCR to register themselves? Like, what message does the NCR have for those particular people?
The message that we have for aspirant registrants is that they are considering doing the right thing. If you are currently operating as a machinist who is not registered, we are encouraging you to register so that you can do your business under the protection of the law. You don't have to run after people with shambox and guns to get your money back. The law will protect your money. And then you will then also get to be trained on how to run your business, what you can charge, how you can charge, and all the legal requirements that go with the type of business that you'll be going into. Well,
Dr. Jimmy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. How do we get in touch with the National Credit Regulator if we need help?
Your listeners or consumers or prospective registrants can get a hold of the National Credit Regulator by calling us on 0860-627-627, 0860-627-627. If they want to contact the registrations department, they can send an email to registrations@ncr.org.za. Registrations@ncr.org.za. And then for our website, it's www.ncr.org.za.
And if I can just say this, this is a compliment towards the NCR. I have called NCR a couple of times. I never held. It's just one of the most amazing things. Like when I call the NCR, it just tells me which department am I going to. And when I go to that department, somebody picks up the phone. And it's just extraordinary. And one of the reasons why I brought you here is I wanted people to understand how accessible the NCR is to the public in terms of helping them formalize their business, and also consumers as well in terms of their rights and their protection, that the National Credit Regulator is available and is accessible.
We're definitely available, and we appreciate the compliment. And then maybe for consumers as well, who may have issues who want to report, they send their email to complaints@ncr.org.za. Complaints@ncr.org.za. And let me assure consumers that for us to help them resolve their issues, it is done at no cost to them. Even if we need to spend money as the NCR to resolve your complaint, we will not transfer the cost to you as a consumer.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope we'll have this conversation once again, with the form in studio, and just to go on and just highlight people as to which are the parts they have to fill in. I think we have to I actually want us to have this form of education so that we educate our people. I believe we've got some immense economic power. If we just formalize it, things will be so much more easier for our people. Thank you very much, Dr. Jimmy.
Thank you so much as well, and on behalf of the NCR, let me thank Lekoa FM for giving us this opportunity to share this critical information with your listenership.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Lekoa FM 91.0, that is Dr. Jimmy Golele, who we just had a conversation with regarding formalizing your cash load business, right? That was insightful, right? So, you've heard. You can do it for yourself. Go to ncr.org.za. You'll be able to do it. You don't need an accountant, get somebody, but you can register your cash loan business. We're going to take a short break and we will be white black. Times of soul.
Now it's back to Business in Motion with Thabiso Zwane, brought to you by AllNew Media Solutions.
Minutes before we hit midday right here, Lekoa FM 91.0. Good morning, Tobela Abshini Ahemenjane Mefukile Salambo Lekom Ni Hao. How are things going? Right? Bonjour. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling informed? Do not fret, okay? Do not worry. If you take your phone now and you Google how to register your cash loan business, right? Take your phone now and take it and Google how to register a mashonisa business. Seriously, I'm serious. Do it, right? Google it. One of the first results you'll see will be an article that was written by me. It's on Google. It's one of the top ranking articles. I'm so proud of it. Because our goal is as much information as possible. So if you want to know, go to allnew.co.za. Just Google it, man. Google how to register mashonisa business. You will see the article from allnew.co.za. It outlines the process on how you can formalize your business with the National Credit Regulator. As that Jimmy said, this is something that you can do for yourself. If you want somebody to help you, yes, we can. But we bring the NCR on the air to empower you, for you to understand that there is absolute access to all of this, right? There's no undercovers. One of the biggest risks, as he outlined, the person that tends to lose the most in this particular business is you. Isn't that weird? Like, you're the one that tends to lose a lot. Should it happen that you come across customers that are, not willing to pay you back? What is that? Lonka microwave, Thabiso afutumaritse makhokho rentse nkomazi. You gotta take his microwave. Thabiso's gonna beg you, please let me just futumaze the makhokho before, Amazing, man. So you can register your business with the National Credit Regulator. I am going to have this conversation as a podcast on the same article that is listed there for you to have an audio of that information. But we're doing it so that we can change the economic landscape of where we are right here in the Vaal. Because we can, right? Because we've got the power to do so. Because we should, right? And let me tell you this. We bring these people on the air because, hey, when people that have got access to information, they would rather make money with the information, right? So we want to bring change so that we can change your lives. We hope we did, right? We hope you had a valuable time. It's almost time for me to get out of here. We didn't talk about the business of business. Let me tell you two stories that I was going to tell you about. One, Sean Kingston's mom has been arrested. Sean Kingston's mom has been sentenced to 5 years in jail. You remember Sean Kingston? They are those beautiful girls, huh? He is going to be sentenced to, next month he's also going to be sentenced. They've been charged with racketeering, I beg your pardon, conspiracy to commit fraud, committing wire fraud, and one for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Sean Kingston's mom, okay, Mom Magriza, okay, Mamita, Mamas, I don't know what you call your mom, Mama. Sean Kingston's mom is in jail because of Sean Kingston. If you have no information, just go on YouTube or try to share this information on our Facebook. But Sean Kingston's mom is going to jail because she helped Sean Kingston commit some of the apparent frauds that they did. What Sean Kingston used to do, he used to buy jewelry from businesses, send them fake checks, okay? And these businesses ended up losing a ton of money. This specifically happened after his fame sort of waned. I can remember he came with, "Where are those beautiful girls?" I think there was a couple of singles after that, or a subsequent album, but sort of his star dwindled afterwards. I mean, the average kid does not even know who Sean Kingston is. But Sean Kingston's mom is in jail, right? He is going to be sentenced next month. Moral of the story: don't help your kids commit crime, okay? Don't be part of these risky businesses because association is problematic. Do you know who's having a problem with association right now? Kenny Kunene, because he was found at the house of the gentleman who's been arrested, suspected of being involved in the murder of DJ somebody. Now, he himself, Mr. Kenny Kunene, has been suspended because of association. I actually was watching this interview this morning. I know a lot of people have been busy, okay? A lot of people spoke about this interview of Kenny Kunene wearing these expensive watches when he went to NCR. I don't know. I think it's just a matter of optics, right? Optics. like, what do people think? And I think if you don't consider optics and you're a public figure, it shows flaws. If you are being accused or you were found, in fact, at a house of a suspect and you come on television wearing expensive watches, his watch is expensive more than my car. I can tell you for sure, okay? That's for sure, right? So optics. So by association, he's associated with this apparent businessman, then he got suspended. Sean Kingston's mom is going to jail for suspension. Imagine taking your mom to jail. That is like one of the most extraordinary things. Okay, we'll touch base on these stories next week. We hope you had a good time. We hope you enjoyed the show. With this, I bid you farewell. We'll see you again next week. Au revoir. You want to connect with me? You'll find me online. Follow Lekoa FM 91.0. We are always there. Or you can simply follow Thabiso Zwane Arnold. If you want to see this Sean Kingston story, I'll share it with you. Enjoy your weekend. Au revoir.